Hello, YouTube! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another Daily Blizzard upload. This is Zest versus Hydra on the map Overgrowth LE from the 2015 Intel Extreme Masters Championship held in Katowice. Just finished up earlier this week on Sunday, and it was a really amazing tournament. I am bringing you replays from these games, and it includes players like Flash, Trap, Hydra and Zest, obviously Life, Maru, Hero, just names that you know from the game and people that you want to be like when you grow up. So, here we have this matchup again from the round of 16 between these two players. Now, Hydra and Zest don't have as many accolades as some of the players I have cast already from this tournament, but they do have some things to brag about. Zest, our Protoss player here, was the 2014 GSL Season 1 champion and also won the 2014 Kespa Cup, which is fairly impressive in my estimation. And in the bottom left, we have the Blue Zerg Hydra, who came onto the scene early in 2011 and did win the PDP Pop MSL season back in 2011, but has not won a championship since. So he's just been a steady presence, coming along, playing in tournaments, earning his money, doing well for his team, although he has not come out on top for 4 years now. So we'll see how he can perform in this best of 5 series in this round of 16 again. Now, Protoss versus Zerg is probably one of the more versatile matchups you'll see in Starcraft 2. There are a myriad of different timing attacks and different ways that Protoss can go in to disrupt what Zerg is trying to do. The Zerg, on the other hand, does have a couple options of ways that he can also harass the Protoss player. So, what we have is an early Nexus going down for the Protoss. It's Nexus immediately after Pylon, and then the Gateway coming down, as well as an early hatchery going down from Hydra after the gas. And there goes the spawning pool at 15 supply. You'll notice I have a new overlay system. I've been experimenting with some of the options available in the StarCraft 2 gameplay options. I like this one just because it does give me the information about the units that I have clicked on, the spawning pool, the hatchery, even the probe. It shows me what upgrades it has, what abilities it has. Very nice that way, as long as the pretty overlay up top with the blue and the red, and everything kind of compacted over here on the left. So I'll probably stick around with this overlay for the time being, maybe until I get tired of it, or I can find a new custom one that I can make a little bit better to suit my needs. But in the meantime, there is in fact a little bit of StarCraft going on. The probe is scouting the main base of Hydra. Zest is really interested in seeing what's going on. We'll be seeing early lair now that the spawning pool is up. The probe is also interested in checking out the drone count here at the natural. There are not any there yet. There are some drones in production though, as we pull up the production tab there. We have a Zealot coming down along with the Cybernetics core for the Protoss, and a Scouting Overlord's coming right on in. Does see the Cybernetics core, which is to be expected. There's not much of a reason for Protoss to do anything else unless he's doing some kind of a crazy 2-gateway attack from a long distance with those Zealots, and it's not something that we're going to see very often from Protoss, especially at this level. So we have the Scouting Probe just checking around. We have a Zergling also patrolling around looking for a proxy pylon, which is something that's really powerful against Zerg. Protoss units are slow but powerful, and if you can proxy right up next to the base of the Zerg, your units can get there fast enough, and even before the Zerg can react most times. So a good Zerg player will scout around and try to find those proxy pylons, find some hidden tech as well if they can, and just do what they can to prevent the Protoss from being able to sneak up on them and force them to march across the map instead. Now we have a third hatchery going down for Hydra. Again, 3 base to the Protoss 2, so that's something that we do want to see from our Zerg player. An Overlord scouting on the high ground over here, seeing what he can see. Let's take a look real quick. Yeah, he has some pretty good view of that gas, whether the Protoss has taken that gas or not. That is very important because the amount of gas that the Protoss is taking at his expansion says whether there's tech going on, whether there is just an early pressure coming on from the army. And so as a Zerg player, you want to get up on this high ground and see if that gas is taken and when. It's very important. We do have more gateways coming down at the front. The gas still hasn't been taken, which tells me that we might be seeing some 7-gate pressure from the Protoss player. I don't see a... Oh, I do. There we go. Robotics Bay just finished. Where is that Robotics Bay? Ah, up here in this corner. Away from Scouting Overlords and away from casters, too. The Robotics Bay is warping in a Warp Prism, which is very useful in attacks against Zerg players. You can drop units at the front and then warp in Zealots at the back to wreak havoc on the mineral line of the Zerg while they're busy focused at the front. So we do have a lair going up for Zest, and a scouting Zergling again coming up the front. It will be chased away by this Mothership Core, and gateways are morphing into warp gates, which is something you're going to want for this timing attack as well. Are there any proxy pylons? There are not. It looks like this warp prism did get scouted by the Zergling. I believe if Zest was paying attention, he saw exactly what was going on there. He saw how this warp prism is heading on towards his natural and right past the Overlord. So now Zest knows for sure what's going on, as 2 sentries and a stalker drop down trying to kill this Overlord. They do need to get picked up and dropped again, but they do manage to take it out, dropping Hydra down to 86 supply, but he has enough room to lose that Overlord. It is expected to lose that Overlord from time to time. Zerglings come in and immediately do manage to almost snipe a Zentry. I spoke a little bit too soon there. They try to take it out. It is down to, the red in the health. It doesn't show exactly what it is when it's inside the Warp Prism. Scouting Overseer, which is much faster, much better able to scout, sees the number of gateways that are coming up, recognizes this is likely a 2-base, 7-gate attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 gateways on 2 bases. A huge group coming in with Immortals, with Sentries, with a Stalker. The Zerglings are trying to pick off the Sentries as much as they can, because Sentry force fields are very strong in this early game against the Zerg when they have nothing to deal with it. So Hydras are out in response for Hydra. Obviously, the Hydras do get pinned in by these force fields and are quickly destroyed. They try to retreat, but are unable to do so. I don't think any of the Sentries were taken out there. We do have a group of Zerglings and some Hydras up on the top. We're going to try to get the surround on these Sentries. They do manage to take out 1 Sentry, 2 Sentries, 3 Sentries go down. But the Immortals are in the back doing a lot of damage, trying to take down the Spinecrawler, trying to take down the Queen. But it looks like Zerg might be able to hold on here, trying to snipe down the Warp Prism. Does manage to get it. All that's left are these 2 Immortals and a couple Zealots, which is a good combination, but not quite enough in this situation to result in a win condition for Zest. So a really good job holding off that attack there by Hydra. It looked like there was a large force at his door, but he was able to focus down the Warp Prism, able to take down those sentries early on, which was very important, and then clean everything up with some Zerglings and the Queens and a couple Hydralisks. Observer parked right up here over the 3rd base, seeing exactly what's going on for the Zerg player. A small group of Lings parked out front of the Protoss base. They're going to run in, recognize there are Zealots out front, and some Hydralisks come up to support. Now, on their own, the Zerglings are not very good against these Zealots, but with Hydra support, they are much, much more effective. As you'll see, the Zealots melt away. Zerglings trying to find a good angle to attack. They want to take down that pylon, not quite able to do so. The Hydralisks are focusing down this gateway, which will slow down the production from Zest quite a lot. Before taking that one down, though, they decide to slowly mow down the other one and then focus back on the second. And the pylon goes down as well. So the Hydralisks are not interested in killing very much, but they just wanted to slow down the production capabilities of Zest and hopefully make the next attack that much weaker. We do have the creep spread going down, going through this destructible debris. Again, trying to get across the map, trying to help the Zerg units get where they need to go as fast as they can and provide that vision. 2 Changelings coming up the map. We're going to follow them, see where they're going. Changelings, as they approach the enemy base, will morph into either a Zealot, a Marine, or a Zergling, as those are units that are commonly used by the enemy. They cannot be attacked unless targeted directly like that. So a good professional player, or even a good casual player, will recognize the presence of units they did not create, focus them down, prevent that scouting from the Zerg. But if there is something that can sneak on through, a Zealot attaches itself to this group, like maybe looking like that one there, but actually being a Changeling, it can provide essential scouting information for the Zerg player. Meanwhile, the Hydralisks are taking down this debris, providing an additional attack route for the Zerg player. No upgrades at all for the Hydralisks. No upgrades for the Stalkers. And we do have a 3rd base going down for Zest. So he's not quite interested in doing a 2-base all-in at this point. He recognizes he needs the economy to last through the late game. Looks like these gateways just were recreated by the Zest. but they will get sniped down here. Oh, nope, the Hydralisks turn around with more Hydralisk support. And the force fields go down, separating some of the Hydralisks from the rest of the army. They get mowed down. The Hydralisks say, alright, you want to hide behind these force fields? We will come in and take down your units, including the Mothership Core, the Gateway, sniping down Stalkers. As Hydralisks are just really, really good against everything that Protoss can do except for Colossus. So if they can't, the Protoss player cannot get Colossus out, these Hydralisks are enough to mow down most anything at all that we see from the Protoss player. A single Dark Templar comes in. He's doing a lot of damage. There's no Overseer to detect and destroy him, but still, he's just one guy. He can't get through this entire army of Hydralisks. The Natural is sniped by Hydra. The Hydralisks do have the speed upgrade off creep, which is very useful and something that did pop up in Heart of the Swarm, so it's fairly new. Changeling running around, trying to scout things out. And here comes the Overseer support. The Dark Templar dies immediately as Sentry is sniped by the long range of those Hydralisks. A probe transfer is going to the third base from the Natural, which makes a lot of sense. No sentries are left. These Hydralisks are tearing through everything, and Zest calls out the GG. So Hydra took the game thanks to his ability to hold off that early pressure at his third base with the use of Queens to snipe down the important targets, which was the Warp Prism, which was providing continual reinforcements. The Zerglings were able to get up close and destroy several of the sentries early on in the fight, which is so important in keeping them away from the rest of the units. And then in the end, the Immortals were taken down by the remaining Hydralisks and a couple Zerglings, which allowed the economy of Hydra to get up to incredible levels, 65 Harvesters already, and he has 4 bases there. Allowed him to get the Hydralisks up, get the Hydralisk range upgrade, get the Hydralisk speed upgrade, and with some supporting Zerglings come up to the front, harass, destroy a couple buildings, prevent Protoss from getting out of his base with any level of comfort whatsoever. Protoss was not in a position to build very many Colossus, if any at all. He did not even have the robotic support bay, and everything that was left was easily melted down by the Hydralisk. Some good micro there from Hydra, and he took game 1 and leads the series 1-0. This has been Falcon Paladin. If you like what you saw, hit that like button, hit subscribe. You can catch the rest of my videos. I do a lot of Starcraft 2 professional videos, in addition to some Hearthstone and some World of Warcraft from time to time. You can subscribe to me here on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/FalconPaladin and Facebook at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, this is Falcon Paladin, and you take care of yourself.